When it comes to Reprime builds, I've showcased builds that either are pretty stout and can stick around themselves for the entirety of use of that mech, or you could make an even stronger build, maybe sacrificing a little bit of survivability for extra punch or what have you. And I showcase a build in the form of the Mistling, so just meant to get you through utilizing the Mistling chassis, period, and then you're gonna upgrade out of it. Well, this Viper build is going to appear like a cop-out build because this is a perfect example of a Reprime which is designed just to get you through your first use of the mech so you can start accruing that chassis experience to unlock other Omnipod sets and start making a much better build. What's up, everybody? I'm James. Welcome to Mechanical Mayhem, and welcome back to the Mech Lab. We are taking a look at the Viper in a Reprime configuration that is not going to look too dissimilar from its standard Prime configuration if you look at it real quick. Maybe it's a cop-out a little bit. You definitely could customize more if you wanted to, but my main goal for this Reprime build when I made it was to just get through the first mission of Santander on Expert. Right, because I was doing an Expert playthrough and I still am on stream. You can definitely check that out in the video description. There's a link and you can follow. It's free to follow. And then if you want to be part of any of my streams, go for it. But when I'm doing MechWarrior 5 or MechWarrior stuff, you'll definitely be notified, hopefully, because you followed and you can join in on the fun there. Regardless, for that shameless self-plug, my goal for doing that was survivability. And I just wanted to get past the tutorial arc, which was definitely more difficult on Expert. And then once I got to Santander, I wanted to make builds that were going to be survivable and pretty stout. And in the case of the Viper, I knew I really wasn't going to get to where I wanted to go with the Reprime. So I made the Reprime just for surviving the first mission. A bit more comfort in surviving it, if you will. Because it is a medium mech at 40 tons. So at first glance, not much seems different. What is different is that I am rocking 2 ER medium lasers instead of medium pulse lasers. Medium pulse lasers are 2 tons, ER medium lasers are 1 ton. So on top of the extra range that we get from ER mediums, we are also saving weight. The 2-ton weight savings is going to go into the armor pods you see here as well. Everything else, machine gun, AMS, SRM-4, and their ammo, untouched from the standard Prime configuration, which is why I call this somewhat of a cop-out. But what I did do is up the armor in places I felt really critical to do so. So this left arm, we didn't touch it. We're just going to let it ride. If it survives, great. If it gets destroyed, unfortunate, but we're just looking to get through that first mission. And the SRM-4 is a nice little bit extra punch, but, you know, if we lose it, it's not the biggest deal. The left torso has AMS. AMS is a defensive thing. It takes out missiles. And right now it's taking out, I believe, 4 missiles a second when it's firing. It has a pretty short range. It doesn't tell you there, but it's got a pretty short range. So it's taking out 4 missiles. That's going to be helpful for us and our star. So I kept it around. I was thinking, should I take it off for more armor? But I kept it around. And I put a half-ton armor pod here. You could take it off for more armor if you want to. It's not like we faced super missile barrages or anything like that in the first mission. So you could definitely take it off for more ammo or more armor, I should say, if you wanted to. But it's also really not that heavy. This is a ton of ammunition, and it itself weighs a half ton. So that's 1.5 tons, which is still a nice extra armor, but it's not like you're getting 5 tons or anything like that. So we can't do anything for the head, and we can't do anything for the legs. But the center torso can get an armor pod, and I give it an armor pod. A half-ton armor pod here. This makes the center torso a little bit tankier. So while the build overall has more armor and therefore would be a little bit more tankier, we can specifically tank a little bit extra damage in the center torso now because we do have an armor pod there. Other builds which do not have armor pods there can tank more damage overall, but the center torso is going to be kind of a weak point because it's not any tankier than what it was, if that makes any sense. For the right torso, we added a half-ton feral armor pod, not so much because I care about the machine guns, but because I care about the arm. You lose a left or right torso, you lose the associated arm, so I didn't want that to happen. So for the right arm, I have, like I said, those 2 ER medium lasers in place of medium pulse lasers, and we have a half-ton armor pod here. The weapon loadout in terms of weapon group configuration and stuff remains the same. So the end result is a loadout that has, what is that? 382 armor, less than the Kit Fox, which comes in at 401, but not by too much. But when we compare it to the Viper, we see we basically added just about 80 extra armor to this thing, which isn't bad at all. So we don't really sacrifice much in the firepower department. We gain a bit of extra armor. This is going to be great for keeping us, in terms of surviving, a little bit more safer, a bit of a cushion of security, if you will. So as far as pilots go, we are in basically the first mission literally of the campaign proper, so we have no pilot XP to spend and worry about in terms of enhancing the pilot's capabilities in any way with certain equipment, and we don't have any research to speak of at this time, so anybody can make use of this mech. So let's head to the shooting range and check it out. The Viper, we're probably all going to be familiar with if you play this game at all, because you get to Santander, it's what you start with, it's what you're probably going to make use of for a decent amount of missions. It's grown on me over time. Its primary configuration, I'm not a fan of that much, to be honest with you, because it definitely feels like it lacks a little bit of punch. Because I feel it kind of does. But for a medium mech at 40 tons, we have decent armor in the stock loadout, we have good speed, and we have jump jets for that maneuverability if we so desire, which is pretty cool. So, not too much to say here. This is going to play just like the Prime build, except we don't have pulse lasers, right? So it's not too much to say, but we'll still do that. Remember, we have spreads to think about there. And then we can finish things off with a machine gun. Machine gun is going to be, in my opinion, better at dealing with structure than armor. I could just be a fallacy and it just feels that way, but it seems that way, and certain light vehicles is pretty decent with to kind of save your medium laser and help you see they don't make any heat. It's not the best thing, don't get me wrong, but we have it. It has plenty of ammo, might as well use it. Your SRM4 ammo, as you get more extended into a mission, is gonna be a little bit more worrisome for you. So you don't want to just spam it necessarily, but use it to either finish things off or really help whittle things down in terms of the mech department. You're gonna do okay against aircraft, right? And of course, when it comes to tanks, mechs, truck tanks, you can just step on them no matter what your weight class is, no matter what their weight class is. So there's that. To be honest, we're not going to be dropping things anywhere near as fast as the Arctic Cheetah Reprime build, or even necessarily, potentially, the Kit Fox at times, because of the firing speed of the Ultra Autocannon 2, and it also has 2 ER medium lasers. But we have extra range now because of the ER medium lasers as opposed to medium pulses, and we just got to deal with spread, and we're going to be fine. Remember, these are all recruit level AI, so in actual campaign missions, when you see anything higher than recruit, they're going to take a little bit more damage depending upon how much higher they are to take down. But this still gives you a decent baseline on how the chassis is performing overall with your build, and this is performing absolutely as expected because it's basically the Prime build except with ER medium lasers and some extra armor for a little bit extra safety net cushion feeling of survivability, because we do have more survivability overall and even in our center torso specifically, which is very nice. I 100% condone and did myself sub off of this Reprime build in the very next mission because I got the chassis experience to unlock some Omnipod set that I needed, and I started making a much tankier build, I think better build overall. But this gets you through, and sometimes Reprime is just about getting you through. That's just as important as making a really cool, flashy build. So, thanks so much for tuning in, stopping by. Even though we didn't do too much more than just change up the Prime's lasers, it does let us put more armor pods, in, or just basically put armor pods in general to up our armor, and that does have a snowball effect together, right? We're extra tanky capabilities, we have a little bit better range capability, so all in all, it is pretty helpful. In any case, thanks so much for tuning in, stopping by. Did you do a Reprime of the Viper build yourself, or the Viper yourself? What build did you do? Did you decide to kind of do something like the Kit Fox? Because you can put an Ultra AC2 on this, although you're not going to have as much room for other stuff as you do with the Kit Fox, because, well, we have jump jets and the like. So, Let me know in the comment section. Thanks so much for taking the time today to check out this video. Hit the subscribe button so you can be alerted, and hopefully alerted anyway, and be aware of future videos going live so you can be part of those discussions. You can check out the Twitch stream via the link in the video description as well if you want to follow there, which is also free, and be part of live conversations on stuff. Whatever your heart's desire is, I just appreciate you taking the time to make it this far in the video. If you did, comment the word Reprime, because Reprime builds should not be underestimated, even if they are cop-out stuff to get you through the first mission with that mech. In any case, until next time, take care.